Well, today is May 25th, 2019. This is, I don't know, my fourth practice video. And I'm in my backyard here with my little buddy. And a lot of thoughts this morning. Not sure why, but it's a very relaxing day and I love to relax. But I guess the problem I'm having is I'm relaxing alone, but I don't mind being alone. Even today, before I was going to go take my walk, I was thinking, I don't know if I want to walk around my own neighborhood because I'm going to run into people. But like I mentioned before, pretty much at the end of every night, let's say it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm getting something to eat or getting ready for bed, I notice how frickin' alone I am. There's not any noise, there's nothing going on, nobody asking questions, just nobody there. And once again, I gotta point out that I am very, very grateful to God for my little buddy. That dog is not just a dog. But I know for a fact there's a lot of people that can relate to that. And I guess what's troubling is a lot of people don't relate to that. So they don't pay the respect that's due to our pets. It doesn't have to be a dog, it could be anything. Sometimes I think my fish has some kind of telepathy going on also. A communication, if you will. No real topic for today, except I was feeling alone and nobody, it's like 60 years worth of relationships. All for naught. It's like nobody remembers. And, nobody invites. So this is Memorial Day weekend. So people are having barbecues. I'm not. I don't even have a barbecue left anymore. It's just one of the many things that left the scene. Sometimes I tell people I'm becoming a minimalist. My son Joey and I that's our new thing. We read all these books on stoicism, and minimalism is a good thing. I have to admit it is a good thing. But over the years, especially when you have loved ones that you care about, like a family, and I tend to be the type that likes to be prepared, like a survivalist, and if a lousy situation should occur, whether it's a natural event or a government event or whatever, just having extra food and water, and when I mean extra, I mean a lot extra, and other things. It's funny how many people laugh at me for that. But now that Joey's moved out and I don't have even a wife, I pretty much don't have anything. No more survival stuff. And there's still some stuff left. But, it's like I really just don't care anymore. It's like, I think a person needs somebody else to care for. And that's their purpose in life. So to those of you that are married out there, and hopefully it's a good marriage, you got each other, and I meet a lot of people all the time that just seem to have a good marriage, even in their senior years. There's a realization, I'm sure, that goes on in your senior years. But I don't foresee that coming anytime soon for me. But if you can see little buddy over there. Hi, buddy. Got a haircut yesterday, or 2 days ago. He's like half the size of what he was. But he's just he's an angel. He's he's an angel. I don't know what I would do without him. But in any case, as much as I don't like being around a lot of people, I do like being around a few people. And I don't have a few people anymore. It went from a lot of people to a few people to no people. And so the reason, and I bring this, I'm only in this situation, well, for two reasons. One, it's my fault. And the other reason is, like with other people, shit happens in your life. And, if you're in a car accident and it just happens in an instant and tragedy strikes and it always happens, in an instant a lot of times, and it changes your life forever. For me, it was just over a lifetime. And now that I can look back, my tragic incident was the narc that was in my life, raising me. So I always feel so guilty and so bad saying that, a couple of things. One is it's like I'm blaming somebody else, but when you're in a car accident and when you're in any other type of an accident and life changes, you got to blame somebody, right? You can blame yourself if it is your fault, or you can blame somebody else. It doesn't really change things. For me, I blame myself because I know at my age I need to take responsibility. I should have always taken responsibility, and even if I didn't do anything about it, I should just take responsibility. Other people don't take responsibility. It's too beneath them, I guess. But I do take responsibility. Doesn't mean I take action, because it seems to me all the actions that I should have taken were the should haves. And I look at myself today. Well, you can take action now. You can take action in the present. Forget about the past. Well, that's easier said than done, because now I'm like out of fuel. I'm out of gas. I'm just burnt out. Playing with Buddy a little earlier, and I was getting dizzy in within seconds. And I always think there's something health-wise wrong with me, but is that just another excuse? I don't know. I mean, I got a list of excuses a mile long why I don't do what I need to do, because I know I should do. And the only way to do a thing is to do a thing. So, but like a lot of people, our past isn't the best, and our present is built upon blocks in the wall, bricks in the wall, and either it builds a lot of character and strength, or you get depleted and die. I feel like I'm being depleted, have been depleted, and I'm dying. It always goes back to one person, even though there's plenty of other shit in my life. I mean, the divorce with my first wife, the child custody was murder on me, and second divorce, and the third lady I wasn't officially married to, but I feel terrible. We split up, and all the girlfriends I've had, it looks like it's all me. Like, what did I do wrong? There's a whole history here. You could see the signs. If you look back and look at the resume, You're a fucking failure. And I take responsibility for it. I mean, I've been through a lot of shit, lost a lot of jobs, lost a lot of people. And that's just a few things. I'm sure we all can come up with a list a mile long, things we wish we could change. But even if I wrote down that list, came up with, I don't know, let's say 50 things, and put them in order of, I don't know, what caused the most pain, in order of tragedy, in order of what domino effect, significance that each one of those tragedies, contributed to my current life. And let's just say, let's say we had a piece of paper, right side, left side, line down the middle, and we just put all those little tragedies on one side. This isn't a pro or con thing. What will I put? Let's say all the tragedies on the left side. What would I put on the right side? All the good things? Could. But when you're in a state of depression like I am, and loneliness, and poverty, and ill health, and well, I can go on and on and on. But that's as my son would say, a pity party. And but on that right side, I guess I would. What kind of blacks out all of those tragedies in life that you live and learn from and experience and get stronger? Just one. And that's it makes me cry just to think about it, but I keep coming back to that single source, and being raised by a narcissistic mother. And it's so sad. My dad was tortured by her, and my sister was tortured by her. She'll never realize it. Even if she realizes it, she won't admit it. And the problem is she has left a path of destruction, kind of like a tornado. And the tornado just kind of bulldozes its way through a town. And is devastating, sometimes extremely deadly. Well, my dad is dead. And it's really sad that she doesn't realize how she's 88 years old, and she is still behaving in the same manner, if not worse. And I know I've mentioned before, she had a little bit of cancer not long ago, a few years ago, and I swear to God, she woke up the next day, basically, the next day, her narcissism was magnified, by 100 times, 10 times, 50 times. It was a lot more, double, triple. And I took the brunt of it. And other people noticed, but they said it was something called chemo brain. Chemo brain. So, okay, well, good. We know that. Okay, things will get better then, right? I'd rather be the narcissist she was, raising me all these years, killing my dad, and continued through time, than the narcissist she is today, which is 10 times worse than it was, a month ago, a week ago, and a year ago. And well, now it's been several years, and she's still messed up. And it's not like, I hear a lot of people complain, or not complain, but have issues with parents that are like have dementia or Alzheimer's. This is different. That's bad enough. This is different. This is when there's somebody that you care about and you should care about. It's like natural to care about that person who is, it's also natural to come around where they should be caring about you and loving you and helping you. They're the ones that are hurting you. They're the ones that are shooting you and stabbing you and making life very difficult. And it's like I've given up. And so what led to this video today is I got this great idea in my little shower thoughts this morning, my morning thoughts. And I thought about this before, but I actually wrote it down this time. And it's sort of like if you knew you were going to die, I don't know, in 2 or 3 hours, what would you do? And obviously it depends on your current circumstances, but all of us are basically afraid to die. We don't want to die, mostly because we just have a fear of the unknown, and we think it's the end, or it's just too soon. We haven't been able to complete everything we wanted to do on our bucket list. And I know that most people, when they die, have regrets. They think about their past, and they regret. Most of the regrets are like me, not doing things. So it's not just the regrets of the things you did, but the biggest regrets are the things you didn't do. Dying with your music still inside, as they say. $7.5 billion of us on this planet right now, give or take. I don't know how they get to that amount, but we're all the same, basically. And we're all gonna die at some point. I know the elite will probably live on a little longer because they'll be bionic, but they're still going to die at some point, one way or the other. Everybody's going to die. That is the one thing we have in common. And God knows how many billions and billions of people before us have already died. I mean, it's hard to imagine. Oh, George Washington. We all we know George Washington. It's like he's alive today. Yeah, he's dead. Really? So's my dad. So is all of his brothers and sisters and parents and cousins and aunts. It seems like the older I get, which I guess is kind of natural, is the more often I hear of people around me dying around my circle. And all you gotta do, which I don't really do anymore, is turn on the news now, and every day you hear of somebody dying or a bunch of people dying. Every day. You would think with all the death all around us at all times that we wouldn't be so afraid of it. But back to the question, now, like in my situation, my current circumstances, thinking, okay, well, let's just say right now, let's see, what time is it? It is 2:30 in the afternoon. what if I just found out somehow that I had like 2 hours? What would I do? Based on my current situation, not much. Because I don't feel that there's any hope for gain in my life. I don't feel that there's some good future lying around the corner. I don't even feel like a mediocre future. I don't even feel like things are going to change at all for the better. I feel things are going to change for the worse. Why? Well, again, it's the narc in my life. But overall, it is still my responsibility. But overall, it's kind of like a paraplegic. You can't move. That's how I feel. And I got the benefit of not being a paraplegic. I still have some energy left and some knowledge. I guess just not enough, though. So it's kind of like, being that I don't have anybody to care for except my dog and my fish, I'm useless. And a lot of people, what they say that one of the highest demographics now are like older white males that are killing themselves. Trying to be racist here. But you get white males are getting edged out, and I'm part of that. I got edged out, but that being edged out limited my opportunities. Basically, I just been poisoned to death by that narc, and it's been a slow death. But I mean, there is some hope. I mean, my son's doing his thing, and I see he's struggling. And I think it really hurts me. And I know it's not all about me, but it hurts me to not be like in a position where I could assist him more, especially on a financial level. And I know that if he would consult with me even on advisory level if I had more money, because that would prove that I must be credible. And I'm not credible. You would think I would be after all I've been through, even with investments. I mean, I got a lot of insight on losing in my investment portfolio over life and running businesses and things like that. I mean, I think I got some credibility, but I'm a legend in my own mind, I guess, that nobody else sees it. And I have offered my services, consulting, listening, the whole 9 yards. Nobody, we're going to listen to you. We're going to talk to you, let alone listen. Oh my God. But, I know I feel sorry for myself. But, so, it's 2 hours. And about 10 minutes have gone by, and I still don't really know what I would do. I mean, I do know one thing I would do, but I wrote down, if you knew you were going to die in a couple hours, what would you do? And then I wrote, if you don't know, then there's a problem. And I know that somehow I would let's say, call my son and see if we can meet. So I can physically say goodbye, give him a hug, and apologize. And if that wasn't possible, then just on the phone. Which I can't really give him a hug, but I could tell him I love him. And if that wasn't possible, then I guess I would text him. And I guess If that was impossible, I'd write a little note here on my little notepad, and maybe he'd get it. Maybe he won't. But either way, he probably won't care. And I think that he would accept my death pretty easily. I think he would be very sad. I'd like to believe it would bother him, but he would get over it instantly, and the next day he'd be over it. So that's just my thoughts. So other than communicating with my son to say goodbye, there's really nothing else. I would just want to make sure that my dog got taken care of, because Buddy here is what's keeping me alive. He's been an angel. He's my life support, and I would just have to make sure that Buddy can go with my son, I guess. And so within the next couple hours, that's it. No sense in trying to tidy up, vacuum the floor, dust, all the things my narc would want me to do before I die. I mean, she would have a list of things that I would have to do before I die. I got 2 hours, and there would be a list of things that would take months. And then criticize why things aren't getting done, and yell and scream and all the rest. But I don't know, it was just an interesting thought and an interesting question. And for those of you that don't have anybody, I mean, I really basically have nobody, but I do have my son, which is great. I mean, some people, all they have is a spouse. And then there's other people that don't have anybody, period, and not even a dog. So if those people had 2 hours to live, what would they do in those 2 hours? I would love to interview, 1,000 people from every walk of life, every level of life, every circumstance, every life situation that they find themselves in at the moment, every age. I'll never do it because I don't have the energy, mental or physical. Every day I say I'm going to do something that's going to make me some money. It's got to be easy, though. It's got to be like online. Every day I say I'm going to start my book. Every day I'm going to start my website. Every day I'm going to start my listening business. My latest thing is my Narc Stories YouTube channel and website. Haven't gotten too far there either. But this is a step. This is a practice video. Yeah. I don't know. I don't plan on publishing this video, but I know that if I wanted to publish it and wanted people to see it, nobody would ever notice it and see it. But the story of my life, if I just bury it, it'll get out. And they'll say, that guy's unstable. Where was everybody? Couldn't they see it coming? No, because people don't fucking care, really. And they turn the other way. I'm guilty of that. Turn the other way. I was talking to one of the neighbors yesterday, and he's older than me and physically a lot less healthy than I am because he's older. He still has a fantasy about leaving. He's got a wife, a good wife, and he still has this fantasy about leaving, moving to Montana, living on 20 acres, being a prepper, survivalist, with like-minded neighbors. But it'll never happen. Because even now that he's old enough to go and has probably the money to go and has a wife, the one person in his life to go with him, it's just too late. People say it's never too late. Yeah, it is. It is. It might not be too late to go on that cruise you always wanted to go on. But it's probably too late to go to Montana. And he says he has a backhoe. And he's going to have to get that backhoe up to Montana. And he's going to do all this stuff and level things out, build a house. And how many years was that going to take, and how much money, and then die? I had lots of fantasies, lots of dreams. I thought by now it should have happened, but it didn't. I thought by now I'd be a multimillionaire and I could be doing all those things, have my house or vacation home somewhere in the mountains, and Lake Tahoe, and go off-roading, go hiking, exploring. Nope. I'm stuck in the prison in my mind. Only the narc has the key. I know. There's really no lock on that door. I know. Oh well, that's good. I just wanted to make these little comments today.